Hey again YouTube, Nutjob with a machete back with another knife review for you. So you might have noticed that I've been doing a lot of reviews of the SR knives. I'm not sure if that's the name of the company, but I'm calling them SR knives just because SR is at the front of them. This is number 3. They're the big options that I saw on GearBest, so picked up all 3. All 3 come with their little pouch, and in this little pouch you can put this thing. The SR632A. It's actually kind of a cool looking little knife. Now of course with the pouch, we'll go with the pouch first so I can get rid of it. Put your knife in the pouch, close it up, pouch on the jeans, blah 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 blah. See the other 2 videos for reasons why you want the pouch. Well, this thing actually looks pretty cool. Unlike the other 2 SRs, I have G10 on both sides. This one just has G10 on one and an aluminum handle scale on the other side. Now, it doesn't have a deep pocket clip. That's one tiny little thing of note, and it's also actually got a slightly bigger lanyard hole than the other ones. But you can see that kind of cool blued steel color. And the design of the blade is also kind of unique. Now, this one I have one tiny little issue with, which we'll get to in a second, but nice and comfortable in the hand. The aluminum actually feels good against your palm. It doesn't feel like you need to have that G10 on both sides, because that aluminum, which has this nice little raised section right where the pocket clip is, and that's actually where my hand closes around, just over the pocket clip, comfy, surprisingly comfy, and over the aluminum scales, it's actually pretty good. One thing that it doesn't have that the others do is it's got this continuous spine. Nice long curve on the spine. What that means is the jimping that's up top here, on the other ones, there was an indentation, and that was kind of where your thumb went, and it felt super natural. No, not like Sam and Dean supernatural, but it felt really natural. This one, not quite as much. It still is comfortable in the grip, and if you really wanted to, you could put your finger in front of this little finger guard, which is the flipper. I don't actually recommend it. It's comfortable enough like that. Oddly enough, in the reverse grip, it's actually more comfortable, so that's kind of odd and kind of cool. And this one, okay, it's got a couple little things that you don't see on the other ones. See, almost thumb studs. You can use them to open the knife. They aren't actually intended as a thumb stud though. If you look, let's see if I can focus. If you look, that's actually a blade stop. Just like back here, sometimes you'll see a blade stop. Well, that's what these 2 little things are. They hit the side of the metal liner, they stop the knife from actually going out further. And when they're closed up, they do the same thing there. So this knife has no play. Came fairly well centered. Not perfect, but that's not a big deal. The knife kind of reminds me of an oversized, what is it, a scallion? Just in that blade design. Leaf shape. Good, deep belly, and actually I kind of like these little cutouts that they do on the blades. It adds a very interesting profile to the knife. This one actually carries through in having a very thick spine that doesn't quite taper until you get very close to the edge, but those cutouts, there and there, kind of add an interesting look to it. Really comfy knife. It's the cheapest of the 3 that I picked up. I had picked up the SR633, the SR631, and the SR632. This one is $14.96 Canadian today. I don't know what it'll be tomorrow because prices on GearBest vary. Link down below to where you can buy it. But it was the cheapest, and actually it's pretty cool in that it's almost the more gentlemanly with this aluminum, the more gentlemanly of the 3. Really comfortable in the hand. The steel is for CR13 MOV, just like the other 2. Handles G10 and aluminum, liner lock, all of that. The only real problem I've got with this thing is a slight positioning. I almost wish they'd kind of ground this section down a little bit, because when I'm gripping it, a little too much steel there. That's about it. It's a little bit of a hot spot. The other thing is the indentation to get at that liner lock is very small. So unlike the other two, this isn't quite as easy to flip open and close up. That's not a big deal. They all require a little bit of English. They're not assisted openers at all. The flipper will get you there, little English, and it'll open up. You can hear it locking up really, really tightly, and that's kind of the cornerstone that I found with these guys. They're cheap knives in that they're inexpensive. They're not using the best materials, but they're using pretty damn good materials, and they're turning out actually pretty damn good knives. This one I got a little bit later, so there isn't a meat test for this one, sorry. But, paper test. Well, paper test. Little shaves. Actually, that's kind of cool. So, yeah. Really, really sharp out of the box. I never know if you guys can hear it when it's doing that, but really, really sharp out of the box. It's held its edge retention fairly well. The meat test was last weekend. This time it's not bad actually. Not quite as comfortable as that little neck axe, but it's actually really sharp and actually hair shaving sharp. So that kind of impresses me. Out of the box sharpness is actually surprisingly sharp. But I mean, there's not really much else I can add to it. It's a very cheap knife, very inexpensive. This whole series of knives that I've picked up, I've actually been fairly impressed with. And I might do a follow-up on this one just because I've only had it for about a week, and the other ones I had for like a month. And I might let you guys know if this has had any issues. So far, so good. Knock on wood. But yeah, there's not really anything else I can add to it. Slight differences from the other ones, not quite as deep pocket clip. The liner lock, the indentation to move that liner lock over to close the knife is a little bit different. Not quite as comfortable as the other ones, but still, all in all, not a bad little knife. Thanks so much for watching this review. As always, if you like reviews like this, click like. If you want to subscribe for more videos like this in the future, please feel free to do so. And as always, you can share this video as much as you want if you wanted someone to pick up one of these, or if you didn't like this one and you wanted to warn someone away, feel free. Until next time, guys, I'm Nutjob with Machete. Always looks crazy when you hold a knife like that. Stay sharp.